Coach BK. This video is for ladies. Ladies, talking about lady parts and stuff. Okay, straight up. Okay, so an athlete of mine, let me get to the webpage. I made some notes. There'll be some notes in the video comments, a webpage where I put some notes and some links and stuff like that. And I'll put links to this stuff. A couple of athletes, what do I do? Okay, so we're going to be talking about the abscesses, ingrown hair type of stuff that goes on in the panty line area, chafing, and there was one other thing that I forgot. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the, I called them friends. Let's talk about the abscesses. Okay, so a number of reasons why they come around, and once you get control of them, if you're the person type that's getting these, you need to just kind of recognize that, okay? Different people get different things, and it all falls in categories. So if you're getting these ingrown hairs, and maybe you've been the person that's had acne or what before, it means that your body's not dealing well or proficiently with bacteria, okay? So those abscesses are just pockets in the skin where the bacteria is collecting and then getting out of control, and your body isn't dealing well with it. There's a couple of medical conditions that are, they're just kind of low key, and they go along with who people are. You know, some people get the cold sores, some people get this, okay? It's just person type, fallen person types. But so if your skin is you have a predisposition for bacteria overgrowth, and there's a link with some information on there. So, you know, I was the kid that had, you know, the acne down here, and we'll talk more about that in a second, but just bacteria overgrowth, okay? So gut health can be off, and if your gut health is off, you're not going to deal well with bacteria. Immune system off, you're not going to deal well with bacteria. Skin sensitivities to certain materials, that is what it is. And so like one short, a zoot short with the chamois and with the stitching and whatever will be good for one person and not good for the next. Hormonal issues that can lead to bacteria, not dealing well with bacteria. So it's kind of complex. So get rid of the issue and then take a step back and ask yourself, what is this telling about my health overall? Okay. So we're going to talk about the abscesses first. They are not pleasant. They are terrible. They are painful. They are embarrassing. I mean, having these and having, you know, sex life, love life, whatever. Right? Really. But then, you know, just kind of walking around sometimes or getting on the bike when some of these things are present is completely kind of like the worst thing ever, really. It's almost like having kind of a yeast infection or a urinary tract infection. That's where this kind of condition lies. So overall, one thing that you can do that will kind of fix this and then kind of go back into helping with the root cause is taking garlic pills. Garlic pills are an antimicrobial, wonderful. They're also a blood thinner. So if you're on blood thinners, you need to consult with your doctor because garlic is a natural blood thinner. But these are natural antibiotics. So if you had a teenager that has acne, and the ticket, winner, chicken dinner, it works wonderfully. And this particular brand has multiple different things in it. So you can get, this is version 103. They have lots of different versions like heart healthy version or yeast cleaning out version, etc., etc. This takes a couple of weeks to get rid of, but if you were doing an Ironman season, you'd start out with this. You need to start out with this anyway. It'll help your immune system. Garlic is really good for hormonal health, female health, immune system. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Warts. If you have a wart on your finger from, you know, warts are from a virus, you can put garlic there. Eat your garlic. Garlic, okay? Again, the link will be on the website. Link in the notes. Make sure to subscribe. Okay, so garlic as a long-term fix, and it does fix it. And like prophylactically, I don't know if that's the right word. It'll prevent it. So if you're rolling into an Ironman season, just start taking it. Okay. Exfoliate. This is not mine, by the way. This is my kid's. So this whole same rundown is how I'm addressing my teenager acne on his face. Okay, because he has the same skin I do, and I generally struggle with this. So just throwing it out there, what you eat and what you're sweating out. It's not always just what you're eating and what's going on. You sweat toxins and crap out too. So if you're eating crap and you're sweating out crap, and then, you know, it's all collecting in your bike shorts, and then you're bike riding for 4 or 5 hours, yeah, is it a surprise that that stuff is gonna get infected? So that goes back to the teenager and whatnot. If you can change what you're putting in and what's coming out, and supporting the immune system, that's wonderful. This is to help keep the skin, kind of clean it off, get some of that stuff out. And then I think the biggest problem, one of the problems with the panty line area, is that the skin gets irritated and stimulated to grow over so fast that skin really heals itself quick. So if it gets a little bit roughed up, and then like day 1, day 2, maybe day 3, you know, then it kind of, and this is where the exfoliating comes along. It keeps the skin kind of raw a little bit, so then the bacteria can come out. I wanted to add a note here to my notes that shaving, do that with caution. And if you were to ask 50,000 women in the Women for Tri group or whatnot, you're going to get tons and tons of answers. This is just from my experience and maybe from kind of some common sense stuff. If you're shaving and taking the hair follicle out, plucking whatever, or all of that, right? Just causing more disturbance in the area, and then the hair grows through. You're going to be adding to kind of setting up the scenario of bacteria getting into pockets of cells and whatnot. So be mindful in shaving. The way I manage that area, you know, and then the sex life area, and the idea that you can put a swimsuit on and you don't look like Sasquatch, is I use clippers in that area. So I leave just a smidge of the hair there, and I don't mess with that, and it seems to have worked pretty well for me. So exfoliate. And then with this, I use Burt's Bees Say Yes to Tomatoes. That particular version is antibacterial as well. And they also have a roll-on version. So if you were, this is meant for acne breakouts. So if you were in the shower or whatever, and you would have this in your bag, exfoliate, roll that on. There's some other things that you can roll on too that are antibacterial. So just ways of preventing. Each Ironman season I go to, I tend to not have issues unless it's super hot. I'm using a certain pair of tri-shorts, and you'll figure out which tri-shorts those are. I'll keep Burt's Bees wipes in my car or in my tri bag, and the Say Yes to Tomato is a good one. I also like the cucumber one. That's a cool one, but keeping the area clean can help. Tea tree oil and lavender oil are both antibacterial, so if you didn't want to rub Say Yes to Tomato on you, you know, have tea tree oil or lavender oil, or a mix of both in there. Lavender oil is really good, so if you had some chafing going on and you wanted to heal that up quick and you didn't want to scar or whatnot, lavender oil and tea tree oil are really nice for having that on hand. With my athletes, I have them make a certain oil blends, and this is just a nice way to help the body to heal. We already talked about wipes, having wipes in there. Bike shorts. This is very individualized because it goes along to how they're fitting, where the chamois is at, how everybody is. And so I have particular brands of tri-shorts, and I'm not going to call them out because everybody's individual on what didn't work. I know that across the board, Zoot shorts have really never given me any issues, but some others have. And so just from experience, the different materials, I think skin is sensitive to different materials or how they sewed it and whatnot, can either be sensitive to the material, or it is made in such a way that it rubs more. And that brings me to another thing that I just took a note on. Wearing underwear contributes to wear and tear of the skin. Okay. Lube, bike lube. I just use kind of the chamois butter, and I've never really used the For Her version, but there is a For Her version that's a little bit different in pH, so you can give that a shot. So talking about the abscesses, and having dealt with them for years, a medical professional, and I'm supposed to tell you to not mess with them. Okay, don't get the needle out and pop them. However, if I catch them soon enough, I can get, like if I exfoliate and like a pimple, get them broke open enough that they kind of leak out and stuff, because sometimes they just get completely nasty. So, you know, this isn't an easy, you know, there's no cut and dry here. Yeah, you're probably not supposed to take a needle to them and pop them, but to be completely honest with you, my success rate is about 50-50. Sometimes I have lived with them and I have medicated them with garlic and compresses with lavender oil and tea tree oil to get the skin. I've also used oregano oil, which if you were to get those on any other spot, it is really uncomfortable, because oregano oil is very strong and zingy. Zingy is not even the right word. It's like burny, zingy. It's horrible if you get it in the wrong spot. However, if you didn't want to pop them and you just wanted to get into medicating them, what you're doing is you're putting antibacterial stuff on them, and causing the fluid to dry up. So that's where the oregano oil kind of comes into, because it causes things to dry up. So you could put antibacterial stuff on the skin, but I have found in my experience that it's just not strong enough to permeate, get into the skin and take care of the problem. So between exfoliating, putting this stuff on, but that's only been successful for me if I've stopped biking, take a time out. And so really your idea is to prevent them in the first place, and that's where the garlic comes in, and washing well and taking care of the skin. So if you like get done with a long bike ride and you're in the shower, exfoliate, rub this stuff on, and try to figure out what your routine is for keeping these parts happy. So chafing can happen in all sorts of areas. It's unfortunate. It's a fact of life. It's, you know, from rubbing, inflammation. You can put lube on. I don't like to lube up everywhere. It's just one more thing that I have to do, and I'm not able to chatter and have fun. So, you know, obviously chafing, you know, spray your try bike stuff on, try glide on with your wetsuit. You know, lube up on the bike. Don't go into long bike rides and not put some lube down there, for real. But you'll always have mystery spots of chafing. It's where something rubs. Like, I've gained a little bit of weight, and so right now in my run shorts that used to work all the time, I'm getting some chafing areas in spots that I don't like, kind of on the butt cheek area, and whatever. I didn't know it was going to happen there. I'm not going to like lube up all parts of my skin, but what I do is when I get done and I find it in the shower, then I put this tea tree oil, lavender oil, kind of put that on there, and then it helps it to heal faster. It's an ugly sport. The other thing, saddle sores. So lube, and then, you know, kind of areas where you're sitting around a lot. So maybe that goes back to more lube, bike shorts, and, you know, moving around a bit, as far as preventing saddle sores. And then the fixing it, you can go back to, you know, aquifer, put some lavender oil, some tea tree oil on it and stuff like that. So I think that is all. It's an unfortunateness of the badassery. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free. You can ask me anything you want. Hope you're having a great day. Namaste.